Hello and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kendra Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have an anonymous female male left behind and forward-moving spouse with a bomb drop that I'm not really going to give a bomb drop date. We have a date of marriage that is very new. This is June of 2023, and he puts the same date as bomb drop. But there were some things happening before bomb drop and has continued. So he's listed her as off and on. She's a clinging boomerang. Without a doubt, is a clinging boomerang. And that she's a low energy wallower. So hold on a moment. So his question is, how do I respond to this email? Are you willing to sign divorce papers when you get back, or should I hire a lawyer? Thinking back to even before the marriage, she showed signs of bomb drop. But only within the last month has she said she doesn't love me, though her actions showed otherwise. We've been together since early 2021. Even when I see the signs of denial and shortly after anger phase. No, even then I see the signs of denial and shortly after anger phase. She lost her dad a month before we were married, and that was in May of 2023. She lost her dad. Married first week of June 2023. Okay. Things after that, dad dying, spiraled out of control. She left January of 2024, but we have reconnected many times. She filed for divorce in July of 2024. We reconnected after that also, and up until last month. I'm not sure if she's a boomerang or an off and on. She's a clinging boomerang. Anytime you have that many comings and goings and coming back and reconnected, and she's trying not to, she's in and out, clinging, and she's clinging. Boomerang versus off and on is based on how often you have contact. Clinging is more about the type, okay? So I'm not going to tell you this is a midlife crisis in any sort of way. No. That doesn't mean she's having one or not, but this is not what we're looking at here. First thing, this is a very short-term marriage. So and short relationship, because you have been together. I'm not even looking at the time of marriage. I'm looking at the time of relationship. 2021. That's 3 years. It could be closer to 4 because we're at the end of 2024. But 3 to 4 years. You have been together for 3 to 4 years, and you married after 2.5 years of being together. It looks like. So you married shortly after you were together for 2 years. That's standard. It's often even better to wait 3 years because of limerence. So some of it can be said, okay, well, you've got through limerence now, but that's not really what we're looking at. We're looking at before you even married. She was having attachment issues. And now we talk about detachment here and the importance of detachment. Now we're going to talk about attachment in the positive. Attachment bonding, how children are supposed to attach to their parents, and how we attach to people in forms of connection, and how we as humans need attachments. We thrive in community, and she has trouble attaching. You've also already said that she is a fearful, avoidant attachment style. That's a red flag for you right there. So first, the question I would ask first, without that information, only hearing MLC wants out, bomb drop, forgetting that it was before the marriage, but just that, and the short term of the short of the relationship, that how long you've known her. The first question I would ask, and I asked this last week in a video, how do you know if this was a midlife crisis or how do you know she wasn't a midlife crisis beforehand? How do you know that the person that we know and get to love in limerence may not really be that core person? Especially if she was already in a midlife crisis or some level of identity crisis. She was in a state of transition, determining who she is. Okay, so there's that. That would be a general question just when I see a short-term relationship. But now we come back to she's fearful avoidant. She has had a lot of things going on, but I get the idea that she's probably always had a lot of things going on. In other words, there's one trauma after another, or one thing happening after another that you have to face. Well, she has to face this, and she has to face this. Well, the reason she's being this way now is because of this. So, or one excuse after another. We're always having to face something upcoming or something that is leaving in our lives. That's just life. Life is change. And she is not able to handle that. She is not able to handle the, I don't want to use the word instability because we can have stability amidst change. But she is not able to handle the ebb and flow of life. She has, she wants to be in a relationship, and yet she's afraid. She has that fear of abandonment. So she's going to abandon first. We're looking at fearful avoidant. She's afraid. And yet she craves it. But she doesn't know how to. And this is going to go back to her trauma from childhood. It's above your pay grade, and you can't fix it. She can fix it. What does that mean for you for standing? If you're looking at yourself as a covenant-keeping stander, well, you can do that, but it's not going to help you a lot. Okay, it's not magic. When you take a vow, and my vows meant a lot to me, but this magical thing doesn't happen over you. The vows are only as good, only as valued, only as worthy as the people that make them, put into them. And you put something into it. And she might put into it, but she's not stable and secure enough to really put something into that vow because she doesn't have the capacity for a stable relationship. And I think you knew that going in. So we need to then go with, what are you? And it's not about why are you doing this in that, why would you do this to yourself? But it's, I want you to have insight to understand why you are doing this. Insight to understand, well, she's a really lovely person and I love her when she's on, when she's being like this, when she's really who she is, but is that who she is? She's not going to be consistent. Your question is about whether you should, about how to answer the email. But that's really, there's so much more going on here than how to answer the email. Are you willing to sign divorce papers? If you are a covenant-keeping stander, then you can, and here's how I would, if you were a 25-year, 30-year, 15-year, relationship, MLC marriage, and I got that, and, bomb drop was a year ago, and we have a clinging boomerang who's tried to come back a few times. The basic information. Are you willing to sign divorce papers when you get back, or should I hire a lawyer? My first thing would say, you should hire a lawyer. To her. It's like, no, I'm not willing to sign divorce papers. I don't agree with divorce. I don't believe it's the best option for us. I'm not going to tell you that. That would be what I would do for someone else. And I would say each person has to figure it out for themselves. I don't want to give direct advice, but that would be my response to in that situation. Unless you need to finish the divorce for financial stability reasons and continue standing. You can. But she is not going to stop doing this. She's not going to stop. This is going to be the yo-yo of your life as long as you allow it to be that. You both need to go into therapy. And she needs to go into therapy and go into maybe some trauma therapy and some attachment therapy to help her through her attachment issues to become securely attached. What are her chances for becoming securely attached? I'm not saying I'm just saying if she has lots of trauma, she might have more challenges in front of her. Of course you can become securely attached, but her challenges might be greater than others. I don't know that. Yes or no, but she needs more help than you can give her. And right now, you need to let go because you're holding too tight. Every time she comes back to you, you even said that you were desperately trying at one point. I think you used the adjective, you made desperate attempts to reconnect. Desperate. So that shows me two people that are not being stable. Two people that are emotionally dysregulated. Because desperation, you can make an attempt to reconnect, but it doesn't have to be desperate. And so I want you to look at both of you. I want both of you to become whole and healed. Neither of you are going to be fit for a relationship with each other, and possibly not with others. I don't know as much about you, even as I know about her from what you've said. Other than that, you keep clinging back to her. You're both clinging. So she's fearful avoided. Are you purely anxious, or are you anxious what style? So I want you to, not only study her and what she's doing, but look back into you and what you need to fix, because that's what you need to be focusing on right now. And you can tell her, you can say, you know what? I would love to set this divorce aside. And you know what? We could just set it aside and heal ourselves. But I can see that you might not be willing to do that. Okay? Sometimes we have to cut our losses. And I don't think that she is going to be, she's going to be resistant and resistant. And the more you double down on, no, you married me and we said vows and this is how it works. The more you Rejoice Ministries it with this is a covenant. The more you do that, the more she is going to pull away. It's not going to work like you think it is. You go into your prayer closet quietly, and it's a private thing. And so you can still be standing for your marriage, but you do that in your prayers. You do that with the energy that you put out. And you do that when you say, okay, I am willing to work on myself and heal myself and figure out what it is that we find attractive in each other. What is that? Because we're somehow attracted to each other's brokenness. And that doesn't make for a healthy and whole, stable relationship. Okay? I know this isn't what you want to hear, but I feel that I also have to be honest with you. Okay? We are not all meant for reconciliation. And if we are, it will come when we are meant for it and when we are ready. And that's where you put your trust in with God. It's going to happen in God's time. Okay? And what I want you to first work on reconciling with is the broken pieces of yourself. Okay? So, I hope this helps, and I will see everybody in the next question.